He's one of the most powerful politicians in Southeast Michigan. An Oakland County Board of Commissioners chair, Dave Woodward, has said publicly that his side job with a gas station chain is not a conflict of interest.
But the 7 investigators have learned the records show Woodward appears to have used his position with other county employees when it comes to a possible Sheetz location in Waterford. 7
investigator Heather Catallo shows us what she uncovered.
I'm being 100% transparent and ethical.
Oakland County Commission Chair Dave Woodward told the 7 investigators in August that everything he's doing for his outside job is above board.
Every elected official is duty bound to make decisions that are important in the best interests of their community and their role. And I do that as an elected official, and my private business is separate from that.
Even though Woodward makes more than $82,000 as board chair, he also owns 2 companies, Woodward and Associates and a political consulting business. Through his Woodward and Associates, Woodward has been appearing at public meetings on behalf of the Sheetz gas station chain. You can see the commission chair here next to a Sheetz real estate manager during a January Farmington Hills City Council meeting. That city council voted the plan down, and now Sheetz is suing the city in Oakland County Circuit Court.
Dave, are you a paid consultant by Sheetz?
This commission has to look at our current.
You're a paid consultant?
We just have the industrial.
Does Sheetz pay you?
The
Sheetz pay you? Just answer the question.
In a video provided to the 7 investigators by people in attendance, Woodward was also spotted in February at a Royal Oak public hearing on another Sheetz development that was later approved.
How much money are you getting from Sheetz?
I can discuss my private business affairs.
I don't think what Dave Woodward is doing is ethical. It's not.
Waterford Township Supervisor Anthony Bartolotta says Woodward called him earlier in the summer to set up a meeting with Sheetz.
Did he say to you when he set up the meeting or at the meeting, I'm not here in my official role?
No, he never said that. Everybody knows who Dave Woodward is. But what shocked me is that he came as a consultant for Sheetz.
Bartolotta says Sheetz was asking about redeveloping these sites with a former bank and medical buildings on them, right next to the Oakland County International Airport. The 7 investigators have obtained the site plan that was submitted to Waterford Township for that proposed Sheetz gas station and drive-through restaurant on Highland Road. In the plan, you can see where the developer added a curb cut or egress onto county property, which would link the potential Sheetz parking lot to Patterson Parkway, the entrance and exit road for the airport. In order to get that curb cut, the property owner would need the county to approve an easement.
My work with Sheetz or any of my clients is completely separate from my role as a county commissioner.
Have you ever instructed anyone in the county to do anything related to any of the Sheetz properties?
Sheetz decisions to move forward are decided at a local level. Planning, zoning, permitting, site approval, all of those things are decisions that are made at a local community level. And so I don't play a role in that.
But records reviewed by the 7 investigators suggest otherwise. Those records from July show Oakland County Aviation Manager Cheryl Bush told another county employee that, quote, we have agreed to allow egress access to Patterson Parkway to a neighboring landlord for development of a Sheetz gas and service station. Bush went on to say, quote, Chairman Woodward has been a strong proponent of this, along with support from Deputy County Executive Sean Carlson. Honestly, this is strongly against my better judgment, but I have been overruled, unquote. After we reached out to Oakland County about Woodward and Carlson's alleged role in this, county leadership offered us an interview with Cheryl Bush, the county airport boss who said she had been overruled in the Sheetz deal.
It would appear that you didn't want to grant this easement and that it was clear who was involved. So who overruled you?
At that point, I had always stood firm that I was not in favor of it. When I said I was overruled, I think that it was probably someone above me.
Can you tell me who it was?
Well, I was reporting to Sean Carlson.
Bush said the county has historically not granted easements around the airport due to safety concerns.
Trying to be good neighbors, we were willing to entertain the thoughts, but I always felt respected in my position here to hold true for what I believe would be in the best interest of safety and security for the airport.
Woodward declined to talk to us on camera about the airport easement, but told the 7 investigators when it comes to Sheetz, quote, "I haven't been part of anything involving the county." That does not match what Bush told us.
Has Dave Woodward talked to you at all about this project?
Dave Woodward has not talked to me under any pressure on this project. I knew that Dave Woodward was interested in the project. He made introductions to the Sheetz folks.
To you?
Yes.
Bush says the meetings about the Waterford site started nearly a year ago. In August, a Sheetz spokesman told us they'd been careful to avoid a conflict of interest with Woodward and said they're not engaged in any business, applications, or requests before the Oakland County Board of Commissioners. But in order to get an easement, the request would have to be approved by the county's airport committee. Dave Woodward is a member of that committee, and ultimately, the Board of Commissioners would have had to agree to the land transaction.
After I started asking county officials questions about all of this last week, the county announced to us on Thursday they are not going to grant the easement. Sheetz continues to maintain there is no conflict of interest with Woodward, and their spokesman says Woodward would have recused himself from any votes. Now, the property is still up for possible rezoning in Waterford tomorrow night. It's not clear if they're going to continue with the plans, if they're not going to get the easement, but we'll see what Waterford Township decides tomorrow.
But they did flip their decision after your report.
We were asking a lot of questions.
And he continues to maintain there's no conflict of interest.
That's what they're saying.
Okay.
I know you'll stay on it, and
We
we'll
will.
continue to follow it right along with you. Thank you, Heather,
Thank
as
you, Heather.
always.